Everything has to be Barbara Ann's way or no way. She'll go after me. God! Like if I tell her like hit me, she'll try to hit me and I gotta like dodge her. White J's, white Porsche, white wrist, white horse, high bitch, high bitch, high bitch, high bitch.
Oh my God, I said that's what I said! You piece of shit, you
In September 2016, America met the worst teenager it had ever seen, on a stage, under studio lights, in front of an audience that had come to be entertained. She was 13 years old. 4 words made her the most hated kid in the country, a punchline in every language the internet speaks. And here's the part nobody in that laughing audience saw coming. Before she could legally buy a beer, those same 4 words had made her one of the highest paid women on the internet with the receipts to prove it. This is not a redemption story. This is a receipt. And if you watched our Alabama Barker video, you already know exactly how this one ends, because these 2 stories aren't just connected, they're the same experiment run twice. Danielle Bregoli grew up in Boynton Beach, Florida. Her parents split before she was born. Her father, a sheriff's deputy, largely out of the picture. Her mother, Barbara Ann, raising her alone while fighting breast cancer through Danielle's early childhood. By 13, things at home had spiraled. Skipped school, stolen cars, fights, running away. And so a struggling single mother did what daytime television had spent 2 decades teaching struggling parents to do. She wrote to a TV show for help. Sit with that for a second. A desperate parent asked television for help, and television said yes. Not because it's a hospital, because desperation, packaged correctly, is entertainment.
Were you and your mom close when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Do you love your mother?
Yes. Oh, here go the waterworks.
Do you want her to be happy?
The episode aired the 14th of September 2016. Its actual title, and I promise you this is real, you can look it up, was I Want to Give Up My Car Stealing, Knife Wielding, Twerking 1-3-year-old daughter who tried to frame me for a crime. Read that again. That is not the language of an intervention. That's a movie poster. The show knew exactly what it was putting on that stage. And when Danielle sat there 13, in full armor, performing toughness, because toughness was all she had, the studio audience did something the internet would never let her forget. They laughed at her. Grown adults, laughing at a child in crisis. And she snapped back with the only weapon available to a 13-year-old on someone else's stage.
And if she hits me, I'm giving it to her. I'm pretty violent. I mushed her in the face because she wouldn't get out of my face. Either I'm breaking.
By January 2017, the clip had escaped television entirely. Cash Me Aside was a caption, a Halloween costume, a ringtone, a t-shirt empire she didn't own a cent of. DJ Suede's trap remix of her catchphrase literally charted on the Billboard Hot 100, her voice on the charts, before she'd ever set foot in a studio. Kodak Black put her in a music video. Every reaction channel on YouTube cashed the same check. Grown adults built content empires on 15 seconds of a child having the worst moment of her life on national television, and not one of them owed her anything. The audience laughed, and the internet pressed record. Now here's the part of the story the meme never included the part that happened after the cameras cut, because the show's help had a destination. Danielle was sent to Turnabout Ranch in rural Utah, a remote, no-contact residential program for so-called troubled teens, the kind of place daytime television handed kids to for years while the audience applauded the tough love. 90 days, no phone, no way out. The internet spent that winter turning her into a meme. She spent it on a ranch she couldn't leave. For years, that was just a footnote. Then, in 2021, something bigger cracked open. The Breaking Code Silence Movement, survivors of the troubled teen industry going public, with Paris Hilton in front, testifying about what these programs actually did to the kids sent there. And Bhad Bhabie added her name. She posted a video on her own channel describing what she says happened at Turnabout Ranch. Punishment dressed up as therapy, isolation, conditions she describes as abuse, at a facility a television show had presented to millions as salvation. Her account, in her own words, on the record. That video has been watched over 8 million times, and to this day, it is one of the most important pieces of context in this entire story.
I was 13 years old when I went to Turnabout Ranch. I feel like it's very important for me to speak on this because I kept my mouth shut for so long. I did touch on it a couple times in different situations, but I really want to get my whole story out there and let everything just be out, because that's the thing with these places. So since I made my Breaking Code Silence video, I have gotten hundreds and thousands of emails and DMs and all type of stuff of multiple kids wanting to give me their stories.
Dr. Phil, for his part, has told his version publicly too. He's talked about the Cash Me Outside girl on Joe Rogan and elsewhere, and his show has defended its referrals. You can watch both accounts back to back and decide for yourself where the truth sits. But there's one number that doesn't need anyone's interpretation, and it's this. Her episodes were ratings gold. The show didn't quietly help her and move on. It brought her back for a victory lap. And on that return episode, a 14-year-old delivered the line that everyone, the host, the audience, the entire internet treated as the ultimate delusional punchline. "You were nothing before I came on this show," the room howled, "except run the numbers." Her segments are among the most watched videos that channel has ever uploaded, 56 million views and counting on the original alone. The remix charted. The memes printed money for years. Entire careers were launched off her worst day. Strip away the accent and the attitude and the studio laughter, and what you're left with is a 14-year-old delivering a perfectly accurate market analysis to a room that was too busy laughing to hear it.
So tell me about Turnabout Ranch.
It's a program.
Yeah. How did you do there?
Fine.
What was your favorite part of it?
So what do you do when the entire world has already decided you're a joke? You have two options. You can spend your life apologizing for a moment you had at 13, or you can invoice them. In 2017, Danielle Bregoli chose option 2. She became Bhad Bhabie and dropped a debut single called These Ho. The internet showed up in the millions to laugh, obviously. To watch the meme embarrass herself. And then the chart position came in. Billboard Hot 100, 14 years old. The youngest female rapper to ever debut on that chart, a record that had belonged to no one less than Lil' Kim's era of history. The joke was charting. Atlantic Records signed her, and not as a novelty act, a real multi-album deal. Then came Hi Bitch, then Gucci Flip-Flops with Lil Yachty. Both of those videos sit north of 230 million views today, numbers most signed artists never see once. Certified gold records. A debut mixtape titled 15 because that's how old she was when she made it. A national tour with actual security requirements because the crowds were real. And a Snapchat reality series, Bringing Up Baby, that broke the platform's viewing records the day it premiered. The kid the internet laughed at was now, quite literally, employing adults. Was the music respected? Mostly not, and let's be honest about that. Critics called her an industry plant of virality. Famous for being famous, rapping because a label smelled money, proof of everything wrong with the algorithm era. Some of that criticism was fair. And in 2020, she caught a much sharper accusation, the exact same one Alabama Barker would face years later, blackfishing. She posted, "Look so far removed from the girl on Dr. Phil, the tan, the styling, the whole presentation, that people genuinely asked who they were looking at." The backlash was loud. It came with side-by-side receipts, and she pushed back hard, insisting it was makeup and growing up, even going live barefaced to prove the point. Sound familiar? It should. It's the same argument you heard in our last video aimed at the girl who would become her enemy. Same internet, same playbook. Same impossible question about who a girl raised on camera is even allowed to become. But here's what the critics kept missing while they argued about her authenticity. None of it slowed her down. Not the roasts, not the think pieces, not the accusation that she didn't deserve any of it. Every roast was reach. Every hate watch was a stream. Every argument about whether she was real kept her name exactly where names need to be. Because she had learned the one lesson that show taught her better than any therapy ever could. Attention doesn't care why it's looking. It only cares that it can't look away. Which brings us to the 1st of April 2021, her 18th birthday. That day, almost to the hour she legally became an adult, Bhad Bhabie joined OnlyFans. The internet had jokes ready, obviously. The internet did not have time to post them. According to the platform and the reporting at the time, over $1 million in her first 6 hours. 6 hours! A platform record. Outlets that had spent 5 years covering her as a cautionary tale now had to type the sentence record-breaking next to her name. The girl America laughed at was setting revenue records on the literal first day adulthood was available to her. And she kept receipts, literally, because of course she did. She has posted her earnings statements publicly, putting her OnlyFans total in the tens of millions of dollars, her numbers shared by her, screenshot by screenshot, specifically to end the debate about whether it was real. She bought a Florida mansion worth millions, reportedly in cash, before her 21st birthday. The music went mostly quiet for a while, and when you look at the math, you understand why. Why tour 50 cities when the internet will pay you record-breaking money to simply exist? So hold two pictures next to each other for a second. The first, September 2016, a studio full of grown adults howling with laughter at a 13-year-old girl who had nothing. The second, the earnings receipts she posts now, from the empire built on that exact laughter. Who's laughing now? But this channel doesn't do fairy tales, and the receipts on this story cut both ways. Rewind to 2020, before the OnlyFans era, before the records. Bhad Bhabie checked herself into rehab. She was 17. She's spoken about it openly since she said it was for prescription pill abuse and for childhood trauma. Read that timeline back. The trauma she went to treatment for at 17 had spent 4 years being the most profitable meme in America. Her worst chapter had a merchandising arm. Her breakdown had a filming schedule. In March 2024, a new chapter. She became a mother. A daughter, Callie Love, with her on-and-off partner, Lavon. And this is where the story gets genuinely heavy. So we're going to handle it exactly the way this channel handles everything. Her words, on the record, clearly attributed. She has publicly and repeatedly described that relationship as abusive in her own posts, in interviews, with photos she chose to share herself. Those are her accounts. And they matter to this story for one more reason beyond the obvious. That exact relationship is the fuse that lit the war you heard about in our last video.
And you got famous, what, 14?
13.
Jesus Christ, Danielle.
Yeah.
Socks, tissue, oh yeah, okay. Now what?
Then came the fight nobody chooses. In early 2025, the internet noticed dramatic weight loss and did what the internet does speculated, loudly and cruelly. She ended the speculation herself. She was undergoing treatment for cancer. Since then, she has kept sharing updates on her own timeline, including, more recently, difficult ones. We are not going to speculate 1 inch beyond what she has said herself. That's a hard rule here. But knowing it reframes this entire era. Every headline, every feud beat, every public appearance from that period, she was doing all of it while fighting for her health in front of an audience that never once gave her privacy as an option.
Bhad Bhabie is sharing unfortunate news about her cancer. The rapper wrote on X, February 28th. Bad news from my doctor yesterday. God has the last say-so, not my cancer. Bhad Bhabie, whose real name is Danielle Bregoli.
And yes, the war. Because all of these threads, the relationship, the receipts, the health battle, they braid together in early 2025 into the feud that broke the internet's group chat. She accuses Alabama Barker, Travis Barker's daughter, the girl born on an MTV show, of getting between her and Lavon. Alabama denies it. Then it stops being subtweets and becomes audio. Miss Whitman drops a full diss track, 46 million views. Cry Baby answers. OG Crash Out answers back. Instagram Lives, screenshots, date-stamped chaos. We told that entire war from Alabama's side already. The link is on screen and in the description. And honestly, watch them back to back. Because when you do, something becomes very hard to ignore. 2 girls, both handed to the internet as children, running the exact same playbook at each other, in public, for an audience that profits either way. It's the only playbook either of them was ever taught.
Why this bitch obsessed with me? I just don't understand. You suck the dick straight out my ass. Who got the upper hand? I see why you ain't got no friends. You miss all fuck your man.
So who is Bhad Bhabie in 2026? She's a mother. She's a millionaire many times over by her own receipts, posted specifically for the doubters. She's a cancer patient, fighting that fight in public, because private was never on the menu for her, not since she was 13. And to millions of people who never watched a second past the meme, she is still, and maybe forever, 4 words shouted on a stage a decade ago.
No fucking sense. She got LB as a baby daddy.
Alabama Barker was born on camera. Her existence was a plot point before she could walk. Danielle Bregoli was built by one camera moment, one clip, one laughing audience, one show that called the whole thing Help. 2 versions of the exact same experiment. What happens when the internet raises a girl? One inherited an audience she never asked for. The other was thrown to one as a punishment. They ended up at war with each other, which, if you think about it, is the most predictable ending this experiment could possibly have. Neither of them got a childhood out of the deal. She told Dr. Phil he was nothing before she came on that show, and a room full of adults laughed in a child's face. Nobody is laughing at the numbers now. So before you pick a side, down in the comments, and please do, that's what they're for, answer one honest question for yourself. What's the worst thing you ever did at 13? Now imagine 60 million people watched it and never let you be anyone else again.